Hi everyone, this is Camilla the Focus Spender, and welcome to my channel where I teach you how to get out of debt, save more money, and invest so that you can build wealth and leave a lasting legacy. So today, as you can see, I have a special guest with me. Her name is Jimena Cortes, and she is from Consumer Direct. I'm going to let Jimena introduce herself. So Jimena, please take it away.
Hi, well, thanks so much for having me here with you. My name is Jimena, and I'm the VP of Product Partnerships here. And I'm really excited to share some of the information that I'm going to go through for ScoreMaster today and show you guys, how to work on your credit, how to build your credit, and also how to maintain and protect it for the long term.
So as you know, having a good credit score is really important. It's really important if you want to buy a house, if you are taking out student loans, whatever you need to do, you're going to want to make sure that you have a solid credit foundation. I think for me, I thankfully have a good credit score, but it did take a really long time for me to build that, just with a lot of patience. I really was like, how do I build and pay off my debt in time? How do I make sure I don't have anything funky on my credit report? I'm really excited to let Jimena go through her program to show you exactly what the program can do for you.
Absolutely. So I'm going to show you guys a demo of how you can take control of your credit all from one simple platform and your finances too. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And you can see that this is ScoreMaster.com. When you come to ScoreMaster.com, you can hit sign up now. You guys have a special deal for going through Camilla. But once I log in, this is how it's going to look. This is a test account, by the way, guys, so don't be out there, judging me. So I'm gonna start from the top. Score Tracker is basically going to track your score over time. We are pulling this data from TransUnion. You can see that we also have your auto score, your insurance score, and hiring risk index. If you're out there trying to look for a job, especially those higher paying jobs, sometimes employers will check your credit to show you how you are stacking up. That's very simple stuff. Really, where we're different from every other platform and what makes us unique and really valuable, it's going to be these two credit building features here. We've got these patented, so you cannot get it anywhere else. And so the score builder is really going to help you improve your credit or build your credit over the next 120 days. Could be different for everybody. It'll walk you through a bit of a tutorial, which I'll kind of skip through just to get to the juicy stuff. It's going to show you what accounts are helping your score. Okay, awesome. But it's also going to show you which ones are hurting your score. Now, most places, this is where they would stop and then give you some advice as to some things that you can do to work on these accounts. With us, you can actually take an action directly from the platform and work on these accounts here. So let's go ahead and take an action and see how this works. Now, this is a problem account. It says I have a 30, 60, and 90-day late down here. I could say this was ID theft if that's what it was, or maybe I want to request a goodwill correction. So I can click on that. I can select a reason from a number of ones that we've got pre-populated in here. If you don't see your reason in there, you can, delete that or add to it. Or let's say I want to just fix a credit reporting error, like Camilla was saying, sometimes you don't know something's right on your credit report. You got to check these things, make sure it's reported correctly. You can't rely on other people to do this for you. And you can say, hey, it's not 90 days late, or this is a duplicate account, or whatever it might be. And then I'm going to click next. Now, very important. When I click confirm mail delivery, what's going to happen is we're going to send a letter directly to your creditor. So in this case, it would be Citibank, and we're going to send this request on your behalf. Now, very important, this is a physical letter. So it's either going to be a fax or an actual letter that we mail. It depends on who the account is with, which one we do. But very important, we are not sending this to the bureaus. The reason why is we can help you communicate directly to who you have this account with. If they approve this and they've got 30 days to respond to you, then they by law also have to notify all 3 credit bureaus. So by you going directly to the source, you can literally take care of it with everyone, and all you did was push a button in our system. Pretty simple.
I love that. I love the fact that you will do this part for people, just because I know when I was going through my credit report and I had to dispute some things, sometimes the hardest part is just writing the letter, printing out the letter, walking to the post office, doing all that extra legwork to get
Yep.
something else. I love the fact that this is an option with ScoreMaster.
Yeah, it's super easy to use. Now, you may or may not have that feature available because if you don't have any negatives in your account, there's going to be just a little line right there. But if you do have it, then this is one way that you can build your credit. The next way that you can build your credit is a Scoreboost feature, and that's going to basically use your credit cards and your payment dates. So this test account has $15,000 in credit card debt. Now, if this person was to pay the whole thing off, the credit score will go up by 77 points. But let's say I can't pay off all my credit cards. I don't have that kind of money for next month, but I can do 2,500, right? So you see, it saved my plan. So if I pay off $2,500 on this account, this is going to be different for you. What this number is, it depends on what you owe and what you got going on. But what it's going to do is going to tell me which cards to pay and what date and how many points I'm going to get depending on how much money I put on each one. So it's going to have the one with the fastest achievable points first. And you can see here on this card, if I put 869 by May 30th, it's going to report by June 3rd, and then I'm going to get 6 points. Likewise, 12 points on this one. If I put this amount here, it tells me when it's going to update. So we have you pay a few days before it updates, so that you can show the lowest balance possible when it updates, and that shoots up your score and it tell you how many points it's going to help you by. Now, likewise, if you plan on going on some sort of spending spree, we tell you which card to put it on and when to pay that off. Otherwise, that's going to hurt your score, and we tell you by how many points as well. We've really gamified this idea of paying off your cards. And I'll give you a quick story. When I first started working here, I had a pretty good score, but I could not for the life of me get past the 740. I was like stuck at this number, and I'm like, what can I do? Like, I pay everything on time, everything's perfect, there's nothing wrong. What the heck? Why can't I get an 800? And so now all I did, and I was paying everything off on the very, very, very last day like possible on all my cards. And so now, just by doing this, I'm usually between a 790 and an 800, depending on what the balance is when I paid off, right? So big difference there.
I like that it tells you like the best date to pay, because I definitely am someone that will pay 2 or 3 days before the bill is due, just so I can keep the money in my bank account as long as possible and gain the interest. But I do like the fact that it tells you what day you should pay, and also the reverse with, like you said, going on a spending spree and which card you should use or which card you should not use in terms of affecting your credit score.
Yeah. So once we've gone there, we're done with building our credit, but it's not just about building our credit. It's also about, protecting it, becoming better with our finances overall. So we've built in some additional things down here. Now, also note that when you get this, you're going to have your 3 bureau report and scores every single month. So each month, we're going to refresh your score with all 3 bureaus. And this is really a great way for you to keep track of, making sure that everything is always the way it needs to be. There's no need for fraud, so you're monitoring this for that. But I'm not going to go into that. You can read your 3 bureau report. We made it super easy to manage. Really down here is where, now that we've got a good credit score, we want to really use this here. Now you're going to get $1 million of identity fraud insurance. It's going to cover you and your entire household. And this is important because, with fraud the way it is nowadays, all these data breaches all over the place, you never know who's going to get your information and who's going to try to steal your identity. So we want to make sure that you're covered for that. To have this level of coverage in other places, you're going to be paying upwards of $30 a month. You're not going to be paying anywhere near that with us, and you get all this other stuff too. So good stuff there. Here, the money manager, and again, this is a test account, so I know this looks a little weird here, guys, but when I click on this, I'm going to manage all my checking, all my savings account, all my investments, my credit cards, loans, get a real picture of my finances. So this is really all in one. It's like building your credit, managing your finances, developing good financial habits so that you don't get into trouble with your credit again. But what I really like about this particular feature here is monitoring the activity on my credit cards. What do you have monitoring the activity on your credit cards? Because I'll give you a quick story. Over the Christmas holiday, somebody was using my credit card, my Amex, and like the credit card company didn't tell me anything. They thought it was me. Could have been, it was just they were charging up a hotel stay and restaurant and whatnot. But I got the email and text alerts from here, and I was able to pause the fraud as it was happening because I noticed that these were not charges I was making. Whereas, if I didn't have this, I would have found out a month or two later when I finally logged into my account and wondered why I was paying so much for my credit card that month.
And it would have been too late at that point, more than likely.
Yeah, and so you want to make sure that you connect all your credit cards, all your checking savings accounts, and that you come in here and set up your alerts. I've got mine set at 100. You can get an alert for every single charge if you want, or something a little higher, whatever is good with you. But that's really, really important, especially nowadays. I mean, I've had my cards used, I don't know how many times at this point, like 6 or 7 different times.
Wow.
It's very prevalent. It's very easy to say a credit card number.
It is. I've definitely had a couple of situations where, like, I definitely did not order that magazine. I did not, buy that cell phone. So I understand. Well, can you go back to that the last screen with the money manager for a second?
Yeah.
So what I do like about this money manager is that in addition to linking your credit card, you can also link your checkings, your investment, and you can keep track of your net worth. So I don't know, is there a way to look at it over a period of time, or is it just a snapshot on a particular day?
It's a snapshot on a particular day. I mean, you do have spending and trends here.
And that's good, because I think a lot of times when people are shopping with their credit card, they're just swiping. They're not thinking necessarily what categories they're spending in. So this is basically a way that you can use to help you see, well, what are my spending habits? Where am I spending the most? And maybe I can do something to switch that up a little bit. And like I said, we have the graph that shows your net worth. You can see your assets, your liabilities, and where you stand, because your goal is always, in addition to having good credit, you also want to have that positive net worth. So your assets being higher than your liabilities.
Exactly. And you can also get reminders of payments that are due. So you'll get like emails on that too. Because that way you don't want to be having that 30, 60, 90-day late I was showing earlier.
Well, this is awesome.
I mean, you get all of this, for a super low price. Basically, if you were just to go to the homepage and sign up, you're going to pay $27.95, just a little bit higher. But if you use Camilla's link, we've given her a special discount. You don't have to put in any codes or anything. But your price on her link is going to be $24.95, so it's much, much better. And you get unlimited of everything I just showed you.
Okay, so you get the score tracker, score builder, and Scoreboost. And you also have the money manager, and then you have the fraud insurance. And just thinking about overall, if I was to sign up today and my credit was, I'm not going to ask you to tell me how much my credit will improve, but how quickly would I be able to see some type of improvement in my credit score once I sign up?
It's different for everybody, obviously, but on average, we ran the numbers, and on average, people see at about 61 points in 20 days or so. I've seen some people get, 100 points in a week. I've seen other people that only maybe have 20 points available in total to get. So it can be all over the board. It just depends on, where you are with your credit, your credit card situation as well. The fastest way to get some additional points is by using the Scoreboost feature, because that's something that can work, within 30 days. You're just paying off your cards by a certain date and getting that benefit. That if you have things in the score builder that you need to work on, obviously that's going to take a little bit longer because there's a third party involved, there's letters involved, all that sort of stuff. But it can be rather quick considering.
Okay, well, that sounds good. I mean, it sounds good because I know that working on your credit can be tricky. It's something that without seeing like the behind the scenes, you don't know what you're doing right, you don't know what you're doing wrong. I've had a pretty consistent credit score for years, and all of a sudden one day I think it dropped like 10 or 15 points. And I don't think I did anything differently, but it could have been something where I paid my bill a little bit closer to that deadline, or I bought a lot of things, you know, right on the credit card at the end of the month. So something like this is definitely good to help you at least get on track for a time being to help boost your credit. Any parting words, Jimena?
No, thank you so much for watching. And if there are any questions that you guys have as you watch this video, go ahead and put them in the comments. I also check the comments, and Jimena will tell me if there's something that that comes up. But I would love to answer your questions. I'd love to see you guys in here taking control of your finances. So thanks for watching.
Thank you, Jimena, and thank you everyone for watching this video. Like Jimena said, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and be sure to share this video with your friends. And again, the link for ScoreMaster with my personal link is in the description box below. Please be sure to share that, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.